Yo, what is happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am DL, and today we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball Superhero, the new film that came out this past weekend. I think this is the first time I'm talking about Dragon Ball on my channel. Wow, I need to consider talking about some more Dragon Ball content. Uh, yeah. So before we get into this review, I probably should put a disclaimer out there that this review is probably not going to be for people that have never seen Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, or Dragon Ball Super, because most likely you won't understand anything that I'm saying in this review if you don't know anything about the lore and the characters and stuff like that. So, for you casuals out there, I probably would suggest you guys go watch the anime and then go see the movie. If you want to understand what's going on, um, if there's casuals out there that is interested in seeing the movie but haven't seen the anime, uh, probably be a fun time. You know, if you want to go in there just to see the fights and power ups and the colors and animation stuff like that, but most likely you will be confused. I'm just gonna put that out there. Um, but anyway, I'm probably going to touch on slight spoilers in this review. So, for you fans of Dragon Ball that haven't seen um, Superhero yet, and you don't want to know anything, I suggest you guys go see it and then come back and watch this review. So you have been warned. All right, let's get into this. So, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z is one of my favorite animes of all time. That I think that was the anime that got me into anime overall. But yeah, I love Dragon Ball Z. It's absolutely a great show. I know it's over the top. I know it's all the power ups and the all the screaming and stuff like that. Like I get it. It's crazy. It's over the top, but I love it. I think the characters and the development of stories in there. I think it's very well done, and I don't, and it's one of the few anime that I feel like is palatable for. I feel like can be palatable for a mainstream audience. Um, but here's a hot take for a lot of you Dragon Ball fans out there. I have not been the biggest fan of Dragon Ball Super. Yes, I know. It's surprising. It's shocking everyone. I know a lot of people love Dragon Ball Super. Some may consider it to be one of their favorite, probably their favorite of the Dragon Ball franchise. Um, for me, like there's a lot that I enjoy about Dragon Ball Super. There's a lot that I like, but overall, I just feel like it's gotten to a point where it feels like they're wringing the franchise dry, and it's starting to get really self-indulgent when it comes to the power-ups and the fights and all that. It feels like it's focusing more on the fighting and the powers more than the character development. Because that's one of the things I loved about Dragon Ball Z, and especially the original Dragon Ball, which a lot of people overlook nowadays. But like, I I go into Dragon Ball not just for the action, but character development, and I just feel like they were dropping the ball with it. No pun intended. I feel like they're slightly missing the mark when it comes to Dragon Ball Super. But what I really did enjoy about the Super era of Dragon Ball is the movies. I really like the modern era movies. I really enjoyed Battle of Gods. I even enjoyed Resurrection F. I know a lot of people aren't big fans of Resurrection F, and probably compared to everything else, it's probably my least favorite of the modern Dragon Ball movies. But I still had a good time with it. I always like seeing Frieza because Frieza is probably my favorite villain in Dragon Ball. And then the Dragon Ball Super Broly, which, in my opinion, is not only my favorite Dragon Ball movie of the modern era, it's probably my favorite Dragon Ball movie of all time. I love Broly. It was such a great movie. They took a character who I didn't really care for um, in Z, and they actually made him a compelling character in Broly. They actually made him canon, and they actually gave him a compelling backstory and stuff like that. And that movie had some of the best animation I've seen from Dragon Ball in a long time. Like all of that, I think was firing on all cylinders when it came to Broly. When it came to superhero, I was looking forward to it because one of the things I felt like they were messing up with, in Super was all of the the development for the Z fighters. Like Krillin and Gohan, Piccolo, Tien, Yamcha, everyone. I felt like they turned them into supporting secondary characters for Goku and Vegeta. It's been the Goku and Vegeta show for most of Dragon Ball Super, and like that's something I really didn't appreciate, because like I really enjoyed all the characters, and I wish they had equal development, especially Gohan. Gohan, Gohan for the longest time was my favorite character in Dragon Ball, but after the Android saga in Z, I felt like there was a slight decline with his character, and then especially when we get to Super, he's not even the warrior that he was in Z. He's just being a normal dad and stuff like that, like he barely wants to fight, focus more on just doing regular human stuff, and I just didn't care to see that. When I saw Gohan in a tracksuit, I'm like, oh god, dang it. Why would you do this to him? Like, they degrade his character so much. So this movie, I was happy that they were going to address that, and like actually make him a warrior again, and actually give more development to Piccolo as well, because he wasn't getting much development either in the Super era. So I'm glad that they were going to be the main focus, and it looked like they were going to bring back the Red Ribbon Army, going all the way back to some of the fan service from the original Dragon Ball. So I was happy to see that as well. But this looked like a fun time. Probably the only thing that kind of like threw me off for a loop was the animation. They decided to go all 3D with this movie, and I personally didn't know how to feel about it. It reminded me of some of the video games that would come out with Dragon Ball, and it can look very similar to that. So I didn't really know how to feel about that. But I was open to saying, let's see how it moves in the context of the movie. Let's see how it goes. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I had a really fun time. Um, as I said before, I'm just glad that that Piccolo and especially Gohan is like center focus in this movie. Um, Goku and Vegeta and Broly, they don't have much screen time in this movie. They find a clever way to write them out. Because I know certain people were going to this being like, how is Goku and Vegeta and Broly not helping out? They wrote a way for them to not be involved. It's kind of cheeky. It's kind of weird how they did it, but they had an explanation there. But personally, I'm kind of glad they did that, because I feel like they probably would have overshadowed Gohan and Piccolo if they did that. But I was really happy just to see Gohan be a main focus again, and seeing the potential, or close to the potential, that he had after the Android saga in Z, like actually seeing him as a warrior this time, I thought was really cool. And Piccolo too, getting the attention that he deserves. These two are the main characters of the film, and I was really happy about that. The 3D animation actually was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It worked for what they were going for in this movie. Um, and they even incorporated some 2D stuff, here and there. Especially when when there's like flashbacks, or like in the beginning of the movie when they do exposition trying to catch up to where the Z fighters are now. They do a quick recap of what happened in Z and in Dragon Ball and stuff like that tied into Gohan, whatever. They incorporated some 2D animation here and there, so I was actually appreciating of that. Going forward, I still would prefer them to go back to 2D. But what they did for this film, I thought it was pretty solid. If they decide to experiment more with the 3D animation, I hope they refine it better. Hopefully they get better from here. But yeah, I thought it was solid what they were doing. And then I really liked Dr. Hito in this movie. Dr. Giro's grandson, pretty much the person that helps recreate the Red Ribbon Army, and then creates two new androids for the fighters to face, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. I actually really liked Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. I thought they were really good androids, and they worked off each other really well. They seemed to be like a substantial threat against Piccolo, Gohan, and the Z Fighters, and they actually go through pretty significant character development in this film. Which I did not expect. They actually made them three-dimensional characters, so I actually was invested in them. So I actually was really happy about that. Same thing with Hito too. Like he didn't seem like a one-dimensional villain in this movie either, you know. So I was actually really happy about that. They gave more development to the villains. Um, but as far as like Magenta and Carmine, like the actual heads of the Red Ribbon Army, I felt like they were probably the one dimensional villains of the movie. Like, I mean, they were fine. They served a purpose, you know. They did what they could to, um, make a deal with Dr. Hito to create the androids and the Red Ribbon Army against the Z fighters, partially tricking them into creating it to destroy the Z fighters. So they did what they had to do, but like I didn't care for Magenta and Carmine in this movie, to be honest. Um, but of course, the highlights of this movie, of course, is seeing the power ups of Gohan and Piccolo. That's what everyone's talking about, and for sure, I absolutely loved the new power ups that Piccolo and Gohan had in this movie. Orange Piccolo, I thought he looked great. He looked badass and menacing. I didn't expect Orange would work well with Piccolo, but like he looked really cool in that form. Um, has some really cool fight sequences against Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. But yeah, I really like that form. I can't wait to see more of it in future installments. And then, of course, let's talk about Final Gohan. I think in other countries and continents they call it Gohan Beast. I personally prefer it to be called Final Gohan. It just suits it more. But man, Final Gohan, he looked incredible. He had the long, spiky hair again. They reminded us of how he looked in the Saiyan Saga. He has white hair and he has red eyes. I thought that looked really great on him. And man, like he didn't waste any time, dismantling the villain in this movie, man. Like he didn't really need to be there that long because of how powerful he is. Like him actually being in the form, I don't think it was any more than 10 minutes in this movie, but the 10 minutes that we see of Final Gohan in this movie is pretty awesome. I loved it. And like the callbacks that they do to Z and even some from Dragon Ball, I thought was absolutely great. But yeah, this movie is definitely for the fans of Dragon Ball, man. Like there's a lot of callbacks and Easter eggs here that actually suited the story, they didn't just throw it in there just because. But yeah, I was just really happy about that. I also like that there was some more development with Pan, Gohan's daughter, actually having her train at a very young age, reminding us of how Gohan was trained by Piccolo when he was a kid. So I really like that too. But yeah, one of the things that I actually really enjoyed from Dragon Ball GT was Pan. So I'm glad that in Super they're giving her more development again. There was a couple of things in this movie that I was slightly disappointed with. One thing is, once again, they didn't give this care with Gohan and Piccolo that they did with the Z Fighters. I felt like once again the Z Fighters just felt like supporting characters. It's like it's not like they were completely pointless in the movie, but you pretty much felt like the rest of the Z Fighters were there for support, or help distract the main foe and stuff like that. And I was slightly disappointed with that. Especially Krillin didn't do a lot. And then something I was personally waiting to see is young adult Trunks and Goten turning into adult Gotenks. That's what I wanted to see for the longest time. And they teased that in this movie. But of course they mess up the fusion and then they turn into fat Gotenks. Wow, really? Why would you do that? Why would you rob us of that? Like, I don't see any issue with having adult go tanks, um, play a factor in this movie. Like, I don't know why they felt the need to do that. Like, just to have a laugh out of the audience. Like, no, I didn't appreciate that. I hope whenever they continue the series or whatever future movie they do, we actually get the go tanks, adult go tanks, because I've really been wanting to see that. I hope we finally get it. Like, man, I waited this whole time and then they just rob us. And then another thing I was slightly disappointed with is the big baddie, the big main monster for everyone to fight, which is Cell Max. I did not care for Cell Max at all. Um, I know they tried to incorporate Cell in this movie to call back to Z in the Android saga, to give like some sort of connection to Gohan, but I felt like it was kind of lazy and cheap, to be honest, because he didn't feel anything like the Cell from the Android saga. Like, he doesn't even talk. It's not like he has no personality. He's just a monster that roars. They didn't even try to incorporate a way to put in some memories of the original Cell in this Cell Max to give some sort of like emotional connection to Gohan. They didn't even try to. He's just like a monster, and he just so happens to resemble second form Cell. And then they use second form Cell as as for what he looks like, and I'm like, that's not first. My personal opinion, like, Cell second form is probably my least favorite. So I was not really digging that. But I see what they were trying to do, but like, I don't know, he just felt like a generic monster for the Z Fighters to fight. But overall, I did really have a good time with this movie. I really enjoyed all the fighting. I like the power ups. I like the character development mostly. But yeah, I just really had a good time with it. I just really appreciated that they gave more focus to Gohan and Piccolo in this movie. And hopefully they keep this attention to detail with these two going forward, and hopefully they give equal development for the rest of the Z fighters. Um, and I loved Orange Piccolo, and I loved Final Gohan. I really loved those forms. Can't wait to see more of that in the future. I even liked Dr. Hito, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. I thought they were really good additions. Um, and I even didn't mind the 2D animation. I mean, I'm sorry, the 3D animation. I didn't mind the 3D animation in this movie. I thought it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It worked well for what they were going for in this film. Um, but yeah, so overall, I think I'll say that Dragon Ball Superhero gets a B plus, 8 out of 10, really good. Comparing this to the other modern era Dragon Ball movies, this probably be my second favorite. Because Broly's still my favorite Dragon Ball film. I know for a lot of people, Battle of the Gods is their favorite of the modern Dragon Ball movies, which I still really enjoy it. But me personally, I felt like I got a little bit more out of Superhero and Broly character-wise than I did with Battle of the Gods personally. And probably Battle of the Gods is probably my third favorite, and then Resurrection F's my fourth favorite. Still enjoy Resurrection F, but I feel like the other three movies are stronger, quality-wise with the story and characters and stuff like that. But that's my thoughts on Dragon Ball Superhero. What did you guys think about it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? Comment your thoughts down below and let me know. Yeah, I gotta talk about some more Dragon Ball content in the future. I definitely will consider doing that. Had fun talking about this. But if you guys enjoyed this review, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you want to be notified on future videos I'll be doing, don't forget to hit the bell while you're at it. But that's all I have for you Dragon Ball fans, and I will see you guys next time. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.